Forming an LLC can range from a couple $100s to thousands of dollars. Disclaimer, the cheaper services are really not that cheap in the long run. My name is Sebastian. I'm a licensed attorney that has guided dozens of entrepreneurs. And in this video, I am going to walk you through the various options when it comes to forming your LLC, the prices you can expect to pay, as well as the pros and cons of each. Okay, so the first option that you have is going the DIY route by watching videos like the ones that I post or the ones that you can find on the internet. The first and obvious benefit of going the DIY route is that you're going to save on all of the service costs that you would be spending with a service provider or an attorney. However, it is not going to be entirely free because there are some mandatory state fees. The first charge that you will incur is the state's mandatory filing fee. This can range from as low as $50 in certain states all the way up to $500 in a state like Massachusetts. The second charge that you may need to incur is a registered agent fee. However, if you have a physical street address within the state that you're filing in, you can serve as your own registered agent. By serving as your own registered agent, you will save on those costs. Okay, so the final cost of going the DIY route, and possibly the most expensive, is the cost on your valuable time.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
You can spend hours and hours on the internet, reading blogs, watching YouTube videos like mine, and taking on the headaches of filling out complicated legal forms on the internet, and still have the anxiety and worry of whether you set things up properly. Again, you are totally capable of setting this up on your own, but you do have to take into account how much of your own peace of mind and your time are you going to be expending by setting up your LLC with no guidance. Okay, now let's run through the next option, which is still cost effective and is going to take a little bit off of your shoulders. This is the group of online business formation services like LegalZoom, Taylor Brands, and its competitors. To keep this video on the shorter side, let's focus on LegalZoom, which is really the king of the online business formation space. There are competitors to LegalZoom that mostly try to compete with them on price, but they also come with a slew of upsells that will pile on each other as you go through their sales process. Therefore, like I said earlier, the cheap service does not end up being that cheap in the end. LegalZoom prices start all the way down at $79 for their basic LLC package and can go all the way up to $500 plus. Now, their base package is just the formation of your LLC, but in reality, you're going to need a lot more than that, and they know this. This includes getting your EIN, your operating agreement, annual compliance, business contracts, as well as just general support. So by the time you're out the door and you've gotten all the things that you need, your price is going to be more in the $500 to $700 range. And this is going to include the registered agent service, which, like I told you before, you can do that yourself and save the money on that. And that fee doesn't include the state filing fees that we discussed. One of the major cons that has been reported about this service from past clients is that the support system is really lacking. Therefore, when you inevitably have questions, or in the unfortunate event that issues pop up and you're trying to do damage control, you don't have that support system that's readily available to jump in and help you. Not to mention, these online services are not legal services. They're not licensed attorneys. So by law, they cannot give you personalized one-on-one advice. Okay, so to recap, you're basically looking to pay at the bare minimum $79 all the way up to $500 to $700, not including the filing fees. And that's without the personalized one-on-one guidance that you and your business really do need. Now again, look, I'm not bashing it. It's certainly a great option for a lot of business owners who don't want to spend all this money on setting up their business and would rather do the $79 option. But if okay is not good enough for you and your business, and you take things a little bit more seriously, let's run into the other options that could be a better fit for you. Okay, so this third option is going to what's known as a boutique attorney or law firm. Boutique basically just means smaller and more specialized, as opposed to a massive corporate firm that has departments in quite literally every area of law that you can imagine. I would personally describe this as the sweet spot between LegalZoom and the final option that we're going to discuss. But perhaps I'm biased because I do have a boutique law firm. So disclaimer on that one. And so what do I mean by the sweet spot? Specifically, this is the perfect blend of the price and the quality of service that you're going to receive when starting your new business. The price of this can range anywhere from $750, so the top of the LegalZoom end, and all the way up to $2,000. Depending on what attorney you're seeing, how much they specifically charge, and what their fee structure is, as well as how many services you're actually going to be purchasing. The fee generally includes all of the things you're going to need to set up your business, as well as that one-on-one personalized guidance that we talked about. With that one-on-one guidance, you're going to be able to have all of your questions answered, and you're going to be able to deliver to your attorney or your professional exactly what your unique situation is. That way they can guide you on how exactly to best proceed for you and your unique situation, because not everybody is the same. Having an attorney actually get the chance to listen to your unique situation can definitely set you up for success in the long run and allow you to get ahead of some of the issues that you may not have seen in your blind spot. Boilerplate services like LegalZoom and the other online business formation services cannot give you that personalized attention that you would get from a professional attorney, mainly because they are not attorneys, they're not licensed, and they're not a law firm or a legal service. And so I guess what would the cons be of going this route? It's probably going to be the price. So if you're someone who is only looking to spend a few $100s in your business formation, this is definitely not going to be the route for you, and you probably should either do the DIY or the LegalZoom route where you can save on those costs. Again, in full transparency. Okay, so now your final option is going to be that large corporate law firm downtown in those big fancy buildings with the mahogany desks. Is this mahogany? I don't think so. Okay, let's just cut to the chase. This is probably going to cost you anywhere from $10,000 to multiple 5 figures. The major reason being that large corporate law firms charge by the hour at a billable rate, and that billable rate is often very high, ranging from $1,000 to $1,500 of their time. So a partner billing at $1,000 to $1,500 for 10 to 20 hours while setting up your business, I mean, you could do the math, it really adds up. Yeah, I'll let you do the math on that one. Now, this does work for some people. I mean, this is the ideal setup for an entrepreneur who has a very complicated business. And so what does that mean exactly? A complicated business would include things like having multiple partners, a complex business structure, having a lot of employees, wanting to implement incentivization packages for those employees. There's a lot of HR and compliance that goes into really just having employees in general. And then to make matters even more complicated, you may be raising money, taking on financing, whether that's from banks, whether that's from private investors. You know, things really can get complicated when you're having that much of an intricate business. Essentially, there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of areas of law at play, and that's the reason why you might want to go to this very large firm downtown, is because they have specialized attorneys for literally every area of law. So if you have a very complicated business with a lot of moving parts, they're the one for you. Just keep in mind, it's going to cost you a lot of money. For the vast majority of people out there, this is not likely you. This is the person who's doing the Silicon Valley startup and they're trying to exit at $100 million next year. Okay, so now that you know the various options, who those options cater to, what the pros and cons are, it's now up to you to make the best informed decision with all the facts on which avenue is the best for you in your situation. Again, I will be transparent with you and tell you that with my company, Founders Council, we are a boutique law firm and a boutique service. We specialize in business formation, so we're not like the firm downtown that does a million areas of law, but we're also not the online DIY company that just fills out forms for you and never gives you the guidance that you deserve. If you are interested in hearing a bit more about what we do, stick around for just a little bit longer so I can make you a great offer that you won't refuse. If you have any questions opening up your US business bank accounts, obtaining your EIN numbers, or forming your LLC, please click the link in the description in order to book your totally free consultation. Again, this is a totally free consultation where myself, a licensed attorney, will walk you through all of your legal questions. Attorneys usually do charge $500 for this, so I do have to let you know that spots are limited and they often fill up fast because we can only offer so much. Thank you, and I hope you got some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.